In this slanted lens lesson, we're going to look at using window light as a portrait light source. Natural light using window light is a very simple way to take pictures of people, but a very effective way if you understand how to place them and how you're going to use it as a different light source. We're going to show it from a large soft source to a very focused and more of a hard source. First off, I'm going to introduce you to our talent. This is Adelaide. She's red hair, very fair skin, so shooting her is going to be a little different than when we shoot Brooke. Brooke has darker hair, more olive-colored skin. Then we're going to take on the challenge of shooting them together, which really creates an interesting dynamic on how do you place the light to get a nice portrait of the two of them together. Window light is a natural light source that can create beautiful video and stills quickly and effectively. Throughout the lesson, you're going to see wonderful glide cam and cine slider shots done just with a natural window light. The first setup we have here is to shoot a very strong silhouette. I'm really exposing for outside, so I'm at 250 of a second at f8 at 160 ISO. I'm exposing for the light outside. I'm going to let her be in a strong silhouette. Using a gold-silver reflector on a light panel from PhotoFlex, we're going to reflect some light back into their faces and do some more images. I'm going to use a very strong direct reflector on Brooke, but feather it a little bit when we're shooting Adelaide so it doesn't blow away her skin tones. In this image, you see a wonderful hair light on Brooke from the backlight. I'm going to move them away from the window now and open the aperture up 2 stops. The room is white on all sides, so there's wonderful white light bouncing around in this room. It gives us a wonderful soft look. Here you can see the wonderful open light in this room. The background window is blown out by about a stop. We're adding just a little soft fill on her face with a reflector. Still working with backlight and reflector, but getting a nice look here. When we shoot the two of them together, I'm going to place the reflector on Brooke's side and let the strength of the reflector hit her first and then fall off on Adelaide's face. I'll feather it away a little bit from Adelaide to make sure that her fair skin isn't overexposed. Doing that will give me a nice image of the two of them together. The way I've got this set up here is we're really favoring Brooke with having the reflector on her side. The darker hair is going to hit her harder. Adelaide with that really fair skin, we're going to let her be a little further away from the light. It's going to make it so this balances out very nicely. So the principle is to get the reflector, favor the side that has the darker hair, let it fall off to the side where she has the lighter hair, the fairer skin. We're going to move now from the silhouette position where the light's coming through the window and silhouetting her. We're going to move around to where we get a really wonderful Rembrandt light that comes sweeping through this window on her face. This is really a go-to light if you're wondering. You've got a window and you wonder what to do, move into this position because the light is very strong on her face, but it falls quickly off in the background. We're now using the window as a direct light source rather than a backlight. The reason this is so popular is because when you put your person right next to the light source, you get a nice soft light on their face, you expose for their face, and the background falls off and makes it a little darker. You get a nice separation between the two. This is really a pretty light used all the time. Don't be afraid of changing the focal length of your lens. Shoot some wide angle shots. Use a longer focal length. Try some extreme close-ups. Dutch the camera angle. Try high angles, low angles. Just experiment. As we move our subject away from the window, it becomes an environmental portrait. Here we added a reflector to give us a little more dramatic portrait. Here's our image with just the sun. As we add the reflector, it gives a lot of life to this image. We're taking advantage of the fact that the sun is streaming through the window. It gives us a gorgeous pattern on the back wall here, but then her red shirt really gives her a nice red against the white, makes her stand out. But then we get the gorgeous shape of the shadow on the wall and then the shadow on the floor. This is a really pretty setup. So we're going to take advantage of what the sun is giving us right now. Don't be afraid of hard light. It can be dramatic, moody, and pretty all at the same time. Let the highlights blow out a little bit. Just play with it. We've completely switched our setup. No longer is the window going to be in the background or in the photograph. We're going to use the window as a softbox. The closer I get her to me, the closer we get to the window, the larger this source is, the more it wraps around her. The further we are from the back wall, the more gray or darker the back wall will go. This light is very soft and comes right over top of the camera. It's on the same axis as the lens, so it acts like a butterfly light on her face with a nice little loop underneath her nose. Very nice light. Towards the end of the shoot, we finally got to the fire escape where we took some really interesting images. Using Nik Color Efex Pro 4, I took and converted some of the images that we shot out on the fire escape. I started with a recipe called Black Gold. In that recipe, I changed the color palette from really gold to a little more greenish color. I pulled back the tonal contrast a little bit and then added a vignette. This lesson demonstrates a very simple and effective way to shoot video and stills on location. It's a fast setup and exists just about everywhere we go, window light portraits. It was a great shoot. Keep that video rolling and those cameras clicking.